Affected our whole community, and we're all very deeply saddened.
We'll hear from a local day center after an attack happened on their property after hours, how they're working to help guests stay safe.
Plus, we got some rain chances to talk about. We'll let you know more in just minutes.
Plus, University of Arkansas lays out its long-term goals, how leaders are aiming to boost research activity and student success.
But first, a live look outside in Ozark. Good morning to you there. Beautiful sunrise, 6:30. 5 News This Morning is now.
Covering news where you live. This is 5 News This Morning.
Well, thanks for joining us on Channel 5 and streaming on 5 News Plus. Rise and shine. It's Thursday, one day away from Friday, and I feel like the good news is that rain is starting to kind of like get on out of here.
Yeah, it was wet this morning when you're on your way to work. It was like, oh, I think I want to be in bed.
But we're hoping for better days.
Yeah, and we're going to have hit or miss rain opportunities today, tomorrow, and the portion of the weekend, next several days. But fortunately, the highest rain chances are today and tomorrow. Taking a look at the radar, we've already had widespread rain north of I-40 this morning. Unfortunately, not done with it quite yet. We're going to have these rounds that move throughout the area throughout the day. We'll get a break like what's starting to happen here in northwest Arkansas, and then we've got more rain to talk about. But we'll zoom into northwest Arkansas just to show you light showers across the area. Barely moderate showers like I've been mentioning just because this activity is starting to fizzle out. But we're going to continue to see rain chances throughout the day, so we're not done yet. Before you head out the door, grab the umbrella just to be safe. River Valley, it's been dry all morning, and we'll continue to do that, but the next several hours, we'll start to see that change. Temperatures right now as you head out the door, 60s and 70s, so not too bad to start off with this morning. The day forecast, we're going to have rain chances throughout the day, highs in the mid to upper 70s, maybe even some 80s for the River Valley as well. So we're going to keep the rain chances. I'll let you know how long these last, how much rain we'll get, and more details here in just minutes. But for now, let's take a look at your traffic outside across the region. I-49 and Weddington Drive. Activity starting to pick up this morning. So hope you have a great commute this morning. Keep in mind some of the roadways, there's a little bit of water on the roadways as well. So just take it slow. Don't drive too fast, and we'll have the latest updates in just minutes.
All right, thanks for that. We have some breaking news coming in this morning. An Air India plane bound for London with 242 people on board crashed minutes after taking off from Western India. You're seeing sights from the scene here. The plane was a Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner, and police said that it crashed into a residential area moments after that takeoff. Air traffic control says the aircraft gave a mayday call signaling that emergency, but afterward there was no response from the aircraft.
Now this video shows scenes in a local hospital after the crash. An official says all efforts were being made to ensure medical aid and relief support were at the site of the crash as well. Now we will continue to follow the latest information on this, so stay with us here at 5 News throughout the day.
Well, in our continuing coverage this morning, the Arkansas Board of Corrections discussing the escape of convicted murderer Grant Hardin during a meeting this week.
The board voted in favor of an investigation into the escape and placed blame on prison workers. Hardin escaped in late May and was on the run for nearly 2 weeks. Authorities eventually tracked him down about 1.5 miles away from the North Central unit in Calico Rock. Search teams believe that he was disguised in a makeshift law enforcement uniform when he walked away from the facility. The investigation will look into what happened, how it happened, and what the state is doing to ensure that it won't happen again.
Sometimes you can have all the policies in the world, and if people don't follow them, something like this happens.
The board is also confirming that a critical incident review is in the works. They say that they are getting all the reports together, and when that is ready, it will be shared with the board.
And we're learning more after a violent attack outside of Seven Hills Day Center in Fayetteville. Now, this was last month. 2 people were attacked while sleeping on the property. One of them has since died from the injuries. Jaden Lemming now facing charges for this attack. Prosecutors say, though, that they are still determining whether to file first-degree or capital murder charges. Police say this attack happened in the early morning hours back on May 25th.
While Seven Hills is not an overnight shelter, staff say that they are committed to keeping their guests in the area around them safe. 5 News reporter Morgan Wrigley spoke with them about the incident.
This has affected our whole community, and we're all very deeply saddened.
Seven Hills Director of Development Christina Andazola says the attack on May 25th has deeply affected those who rely on the center.
We deal with guests that are suffering from mental illness addiction, and also crisis. So we do have surveillance. Our staff helps with people that may have something going on each day.
The incident happened overnight, during hours when the center is closed.
As far as de-escalation, after hours, we do have signs posted that no one's supposed to be on property from 5 p.m. till 7 a.m. Monday through Friday, and not on the weekends.
She says they also work with Fayetteville Police, who have agreed to ramp up patrols during those hours. During the day, staff provide showers, food, clothing, and help connect guests to mental health resources and emergency shelter. But they stress this center is not designed to be a place to sleep overnight.
At the shelter, we don't see these issues because we do have staff on site 24 hours a day. Check into Salvation Army, see if you can get into our shelter. This isn't a place to hang out after hours.
She says their team is also there to help guests process what happened.
If our guests need to speak with someone, we have advocates on staff that can talk with them.
Seven Hills staff say that they'll continue working with Fayetteville Police to monitor the property overnight and continue supporting guests impacted by the violence.
Well, the University of Arkansas is laying out a bold vision for the future, one focused on student success, groundbreaking research, and statewide impact. As part of its 150-forward strategic plan, university leaders shared their long-term goals during a visit to Fort Smith. The 150-forward strategic plan focuses on transformation across Arkansas and beyond. University officials say that they're focused on student success, research excellence, and becoming an employer of choice. At the heart of the plan is a big goal, raising the university's 6-year graduation rate to 80%, a number that would set a new record. The university is also aiming to more than double its research activity with a target of $500 million in annual research expenditures.
Them to feel good about the university, come together, talk and share stories, but then leave here with a sense of mission, that we've got work to do, things that we have to do to serve this state better, and we need their support to do it.
Chancellor Robinson says stops like this one in Fort Smith are just the beginning. He'll be traveling across the state over the next year to share the university's goals and connect with local communities. Well, new this morning, Fayetteville leaders will consider the creation of a new group to represent the needs of renters. At their upcoming meeting on Tuesday, city council members will hear a new ordinance proposing a renters council. It'll be made up of 15 members. Councilmember DeAndre Jones is sponsoring the legislation. The duties of the new group would include advising the mayor, city council, and other city departments on policies.
At the Arkansas Capitol, a coalition of left-leaning advocacy groups is pushing back against funding cuts in the president's budget bill. They're urging Arkansas's U.S. Senators John Boozman and Tom Cotton to reject the measure. Critics say the bill will result in cuts to state Medicaid programs to pay for extending tax cuts passed back in 2017.
Guys, I'm going to end up on the street dead. My son is not going to have a mother.
I got 3 medicines that cost over $300 a month. I got one that's $1,500. I have to use it twice a week. I can't pay that.
Well, both senators are in Washington right now. In a statement, Boozman pointed out the bill calls for work requirements for Medicaid, not cuts, and said, quote, work requirements for able-bodied adults are a fair and effective way to ensure SNAP and Medicaid benefits are directed to those who truly need them. Now, the budget passed in the House last month and is being tweaked and debated in the Senate. Well, protests now erupting in cities across the nation as Americans are angry at recent immigration rates, and they're taking to the streets. A second night of curfew was enforced in downtown L.A. after local authorities announced more than a dozen people have been charged with crimes related to recent protests. Meanwhile, the standoff between President Trump and California's Governor Gavin Newsom intensifies after the president deployed the National Guard and hundreds of Marines to the state. Los Angeles' Mayor Karen Bass accused the Trump administration of trying to cause fear and panic.
This was provoked by the White House. The reason why, we don't know.
The Trump administration is going to continue the mass deportation effort that the president promised the American public.
Well, protests have now emerged beyond Los Angeles. Tucson, Arizona, Austin, Texas, and San Antonio are among the cities where the situation grew tense between protesters and law enforcement. Large coordinated protests are planned for cities across the country on this Saturday.
Well, Brian Wilson, the leading force behind the Beach Boys, has died. Wilson's family announced his death in a statement on the singer's website. The statement did not disclose the cause of death. The Beach Boys co-founder was the eldest and last surviving of the three bandmate brothers. The band is best known for songs like Good Vibrations and God Only Knows. Wilson had suffered from dementia, and he was 82 at the time of his death. Well, today marks 9 years since a shooting at the Pulse nightclub in Orlando. 49 people died and 53 others were injured back in 2016. Now the site of the attack is set to be demolished. Prior to being torn down, the city has said 25 of the 49 families have requested to have a final walkthrough of the building. The city is planning a permanent memorial where the building now stands, approving a plan to buy the property in 2023. The shooting was the second deadliest in the U.S. behind the 2017 Las Vegas shooting.